by having Ms. Clerk call the roll.
Mrs. Fodor? Present. Mr. Kelly? Mr. Cove?
Here.
Mr. Matt?
Here.
Mrs. Palastrellini? Here. And Mr. Robinson?
Present. All right, with that being said, we have a quorum. If you're able, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Good evening, Ms. Lyons.
Hello,
Do we have anyone signed up to speak
we
tonight?
do. Samantha Abbott.
Okay. Please approach the podium and good evening and welcome.
Good evening, thank you. I am here a little bit as a follow-up to the zoning meeting last week. Wanted to address the board as a whole this week. My name is Samantha. I've been a resident here in Hampshire for the last 5 years. My husband's grandparents purchased our property in the 70s, built our home, retired there, lived there for the duration of their lives. My husband and I both grew up in Johnsburg, similar size, small town. But he spent his entire childhood visiting Hampshire. So when we found out that the family was not going to keep the property, we jumped at the opportunity to move to Hampshire. We were happy to have the opportunity to relocate our family here to a small town to raise our children. Since then, we've loved living a slower life on our mini farm, and we enjoy seeing everybody else's farm animals as well. After moving here, we admit we kept our guard down because our last home was in an area that had pretty much been fully developed. Before we moved there, there was really no space left that they could do anything in. So things were pretty static there. There was nothing to be concerned about. Nothing was going to be built in my backyard, across the street from me, or anything like that. What made us realize that we as residents need to stay engaged is the path that things seem to be taking with the recent Crown developments, and most recently, the talk of streamlined zoning categories raised red flags for us as well. Although we would like Hampshire to stay the way it is forever, we know that that's not possible. The proximity to 90 and the developments already underway make growth inevitable. The last two Crown developments have significantly tilted the scales and did not follow the existing 2004 comprehensive plan. Density increase, lot size decrease, and best practices were not followed for medium density proximity to estate and farm properties. Density increase. The Oakstead density went from 1.59 to 1.81. That doesn't sound like a lot, but for those of us that don't know, that's an increase in 202 homes in one subdivision. Prairie Ridge, density increased by 147 homes. The lot sizes decreased. Oakstead had 53% of homes on lots of 10,000 square feet or larger, and almost 100 homes on 15,000 square foot lots. Now everything seems to be 9,100 square feet or less. The average lot size decreased from 13,000 to just over 9,500. The increased multifamily medium density zoning, Prairie Ridge went up from 27% to 32%. While that's only a 5% increase, that's 140 more units. With medium density now adjacent to estate and farmlands, 79 townhouses are on 19 acres and 4.2 units per acre. That lot size is the same size as the Glen Oaks neighborhood, with 9 homes on estate size lots. This type of neighborhood would have been a much better fit within our community. Hopefully these projects don't end up being the beginning of opening Pandora's box, but I think many in our community would agree that future projects need to come back and start shifting in the other direction. I know conversations have happened in the past between the board, developers, and residents in board meetings regarding lot sizes for these Crown developments, and it was the board and developers' opinion that today's buyers want smaller lots. I know realtors came in on behalf of the residents to advise that there are plenty of buyers that still want large lots. I could argue that both sides of that are true, but only one fits within what Hampshire was and is. Many of the existing community wants to match the existing character of the town today, and we want it to remain going into the future. While I don't agree with the 2004 plan in full, in my opinion, it offers a better future than becoming the next Itasca or what I'm sure many developers would like to turn our town into. I agree with the comments the board made that the plan is due for an update, but rather than chipping away at this with streamlined zoning changes and potentially opening us up to unintended consequences, what we really need is a revised plan. That plan should be put together with community outreach with the intent to put us on a path to sustainable development. Development that will maintain the character of this town that brought us all here. Once completed, that plan needs to be written into the codes so that we can prevent future deviations. I would like to say thank you to the board for the full transparency, for having everything available to us on your website. It was very helpful, and I like that everything is just there for us. We just all need to take the time and look for it and better familiarize ourselves with it.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, before you, you have the meeting minutes from February 15th, 2024. You can review them at this time.
Just make one, just a little edit. On page 5, under number 8, the report committee reports. Trustee Kelly reported on the possible payouts being delayed. And that's just something bad. Can we add, even though it says it later in there, on the possible facade grant payouts? So Trustee Kelly reported on the possible facade grant payouts being delayed due to weather.
I thought I was reporting on that the projects were being delayed and thus the cost would come into the next quarter or into the next fiscal year. But that's, I mean, you're right. I think it was more about the projects were being delayed, which could then have an adverse effect during the budgeting process. Yes, I see what you're saying about that.
Not a good look, I understand. Any other comments or concerns about the minutes? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from February 15, 2024 with the changes presented by trustee Palastrellini. Second. Questions, comments, concerns? We're all here in present, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Abstain.
Oh, did you want to speak?
I wasn't here.
Okay, sorry.
That's
you gotta-
okay.
We'll let you do that, but typically you gotta call that first. No, I know. You can't kick me from over there, it's fine. It's their prerogative. Okay. Next, we have a swearing in of a new police officer. So please welcome me and join me in welcoming Officer Sean McGreevy to the village tonight. Officer McGreevy is joining us from joining the Hampshire Police Department through the lateral entry process after serving over 25 years with the DuPage County Sheriff's Office. Officer McGreevy is a certified K-9 officer, field training officer, SWAT operator, firearms instructor, defensive tactics instructor, truck enforcement officer, evidence technician, and has vast experience in patrol-based operations. He holds an Associates of Arts degree in criminal justice from ECC and graduated from Larkin High School in Elgin. Officer McGreevy is here tonight with his wife Carrie, daughter Charlotte, mother Maureen, and grandfather Jerry. With that, I'll ask Chief Pan to come up. We're not going to put you on the spot or make you sing your favorite song first.
Understand.
Yes.
Raise your hand. I state your name. I, Sean McGreevy, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois and the laws and ordinances of the Village of Hampshire, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of sworn police officer according to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's-
This is where we get.
Oh, very.
Sorry.
Hurry. Slow down there, slow down. Slow down, slow down.
Don't do it so fast. Try not to stab him.
You want any blood, make sure it says.
I said you do.
All right.
Yeah, we'll move all the chairs around and mess it all up.
Come on over, family, mom and wife, come on over. All right, sure.
Yes, this.
Gotta get him in.
Yeah, you wanna do the
Do whatever
office.
you guys want.
Hey, sure, sorry. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yep. Okay.
Officers, thank you all for being here.
I'll switch that.
Sure.
Slowing down?
There we go.
She just stopped using the flip phone.
Take care of the smile.
Yes.
All right, family? Okay. Take that one.
That's yours, Chief, right?
So here you
Uh-huh, yeah, that's mine.
Okay. I'm just stamping it on.
That's okay, let it.
I'm gonna keep adding.
Okay, just ask that, it just takes a little longer.
Yep.
Ron, he didn't want to.
Did you wanna get in?
Actually, in
Where's Grandma?
I'm coming. Yeah, you know what? It's.
Sure, okay.
Okay, where do you want me? Over here?
On the other side.
Okay, here we are.
Awesome.
Yes, we can.
Individual? What's individual?
Everyone is welcome to stay, but if you came for the swearing in and would like to leave, we won't hold it against you.
I know you are.
So I'm gonna sign everything you shot.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'll do execute all these pictures.
Okay.
I'll start doing it now. Connections here.
Pleasure to meet you.
So, I'm gonna get to wait till I get out. I see it took up 2 reports.
Okay. I understand.
Okay? All right, you need anything, call me.
Will do.
I answer. All right.
You know, and teachers did that. I said-
Thank you.
I said-
Nice meeting you, Jim. Thank you.
Just you based on your grade.
Yeah, okay.
Huh? Is that right?
Oh,
Jill, you
You got it.
Let me know when you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just walking to get him.
Not good at it. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next we have an appointment to Bill Swalwell to the Business Development Commission. Bill Swalwell has served our village for a very long time. He served as a trustee for years, kind of got out of it, and then we roped him back in to help us with our downtown and on our BDC as well. And so he's done a really good job, in my opinion, to try to kind of be appreciative of our history and making decisions and bringing that institutional knowledge to the BDC, which helps, I think, in a lot of ways. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here this evening, but regardless of that, I think that I would appreciate a motion to approve his appointment to the Business Development Commission. We do have two motions here. We have to appoint him to the Business Development Commission, and then, as you know, he also is the chairman of our Downtown Beautification Committee. So I will appreciate a motion to appoint Bill Swalwell to the Business Development Commission. So, questions, comments, concerns?
You should have to give a speech.
That's all right. Next time he's here, we'll make sure that he's got to give two of them. Okay, good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and also I would appreciate a motion for, to the appointment of Bill Swalwell as a member of the Downtown Beautification Committee.
So moved.
Question, comments, concerns? All in favor? Opposed? All right. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Hedges.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With that, we would ask for consideration of a motion to approve an ordinance adopting the 2024 Village of Hampshire zoning map. You have a copy in your packets. The only two properties that were annexed were the two light properties in 2023, so they're the only changes. You will be seeing a new zoning map every year. We'll be adopting a new zoning map every year. That's something we should have been doing before. Those are the only two changes this year. Are there any questions? We have a brief explanation in the packet for this.
So this is just adopting a new map, including the properties that were recently annexed. There's no zoning changes, any of that.
Just adopting the map.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Hedges or staff?
This one, when was the last time you approved it?
I don't know that the board has ever voted on the map itself. The board has always voted on all the zoning, and then every year EEI would send us a new map
Okay.
in January, February. But Jimmy suggested that we should really adopt it as an ordinance. So
I chuckle because I don't remember, I've been involved now since 2013. I don't remember a time ever adopting a map. We would just get a new one. But to be fair, this is one of the few times we've actually annexed property too in a year. So, I mean, we've annexed property over the years, but not very many times. Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion adopting the 2024 Village of Hampshire zoning map.
Second.
Questions, comments, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
with that, we'd ask your consideration of an ordinance approving an extension to the intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Burlington regarding boundary line agreements. Mr. Vasselli, explain this briefly.
We have had for some period of time an intergovernmental agreement, a boundary line agreement with the Village of Burlington. This agreement that we ask for your approval tonight just extends the agreement on those.
So this all started years ago when there was all the land grabbing going on, when LG came all the way out to Stark's Corner and then Pingree started coming. And so former Mayor Magnuson was instrumental in getting the towns together to agree on future planning areas and boundary line agreements. So this way other communities don't jump the line and try to claim areas and that kind of stuff. So that's where this stems from. This is what you see before you is just an updated version of the original agreement some 20 years ago. Burlington didn't want to change, and we didn't have to change, so it was pretty straightforward. Do we have any questions?
There are no properties within the village south of Hampshire.
Correct. In the village limits?
Sorry, it was made like a statement, but it was a question.
I just wanted to, on page 13 of the packet, I just wanted to double check for the now therefore be it ordained. Shouldn't that, the date in there? Let's see. Oh, it says right above the whereas, and it said that to revise the name of the village and remove the date from the official zoning map. Shouldn't we keep the date on it so that we know when it was last approved? Otherwise, it just kind of sits as a map and we don't. know where it sits in. Page
You're-
13.
We've already approved that. We've already
What
approved
was the
that.
other one?
You're in the whereas.
Yeah, no, we're looking at the
All
next.
right, I
thing
just
that
didn't go through that. It's just-
We have boundary agreements with Pingree, Huntley.
Anything that touches us, we do. Like as an example, 20 years ago, we had a boundary line agreement with Gilbert's because we touched at that time, but Pingree expanded and now we no longer touch Gilbert's. So we don't have an agreement with Gilbert's anymore because it went away. We also had an agreement with Elgin at a time.
I don't need the explanation, like I know that.
Well, no,
I just wanted to know if we had Huntley,
oh, yeah.
Pingree. That's all.
Yep. Any other questions?
I do have the same date, a date one, page 35 of the 89. Just with the recitals at the very beginning, it says is effective as of December 18th, 2023. And I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be 2003
No.
because it's kind of, it sounded like it was a history of it.
So honestly, this was something that expired at the beginning of January, is January 1.
Right.
So, and we've been working with Burlington to get the language and the ordinance and all that stuff correctly. So they would like this approved as of, in the rears, if you will, because that's when the original agreement expired.
If you look at B, it says it was effective December 18th, 2003 for 20 years, so it'll be 20 years. But it's dated that day.
And this has gone through the village of Burlington board and they did sign off on it as it exists. Any other questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion approving the extension to the intergovernmental agreement with the village of Burlington regarding a boundary line agreement. So moved. Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we would ask for consideration of an ordinance proposing the establishment of a special service area number 28 for Stanley Storage Development. I note that you're only proposing this ordinance tonight. There will be a public hearing within 60 days. Is that right now?
Yeah, May 16th.
On May 15th, there'll be a public hearing. At that board meeting, you will also adopt this SSA. I'll get it, Michael. So with that, we would ask for your consideration of special service area number 28, and this is a backup SSA.
Question on this one. Is the property owner Stanley Machining and Tool, or is it Houston Parkway LLC?
There are two companies involved. An agreement between a maintenance agreement between the two companies, and then the SSA. They're both obligated to the SSA.
Because in the ordinance itself, it only lists Houston Parkway property. Whereas the territory described in Exhibit A attached here to and incorporated herein by the reference and owned by Houston Parkway LLC. So I just to make sure that I'm clear on like who's actually responsible.
I did not prepare, but the obligation runs with the land. It's what's referred to as an pertinent obligation. And if you look at Exhibit A, or to this ordinance, it does have the legal description of the ends. So I do not have title to the property. but this would oblige all the property owners on that and obligate them to be SSL. And before we go to the hearing on May 16th, we'll have for you a memorandum with the proper owners. But this is enough to start the process. So this is kick off the process, but start the process.
So we're not approving this actual ordinance.
No, we are. No, this starts the process.
But the ordinance at the public hearing may differ from this one?
It may, well, yes, it will necessarily because this starts the process and that closes the process. And we will have title for you on this property when we come in on the 16th.
Right, but that's what I mean. Once the title is determined, then that, if needed, that may this would be edited. To
Yes,
whatever.
yes, we'll make sure that it's.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's the next ordinance, we're correcting the area might be in this.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll make sure that we get proper.
Understood. Okay.
Just have one general question, not necessarily, not to do with this, but do the owners of the property, do they get some kind of like a list of all the things that they're responsible for doing?
Yes,
You know, so they do, so they know, okay.
they know it.
They know they have to burn things, they know they have to cut weeds, they know they,
We don't tell them exactly how they have to do it. Actually, in this case, we have given them some advice because the
Okay.
pond has been there quite a while and needs to be cleaned up before we actually accept it. So
okay,
Dave has been over there to advise them on how to do it.
okay, so they're kind of clued in, they don't just what they're supposed to do, just mow the lawn,
Right.
okay. Thank you.
To that point, Mr. Hedges, because you said it's been existing for a while, has EEI examined the pond and stated that it's sufficient for the
Yes.
changes that have been made to the property?
In fact, I had Tim do that specifically.
Okay.
I have a question on page 46 of the packet. I believe it's just a Scrivener's error. In the top section where it says with the PIN ending in 032, the common address lists keys instead of Kais. It's just a missing thing. Okay, it's the only place that I've seen it, so.
Any other questions, or concerns?
Sorry, the storage is on Kai's Avenue? I thought this is storage is located out into the field near Rowell Road past Industrial Drive.
That's a totally different property.
Oh, this is a different one that we're talking
Yeah,
about.
this is the older building on Pax.
Gotcha, understood. Okay.
And it's also includes the material company in the back behind the stand.
Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry, I was imagining a different property till the address came.
That one will be coming in.
That's why I asked about the pond area. I'm like, I've never seen it.
It's actually in the back. You can't really see it. It's closer to State Street than anything.
Okay, towards the creek area.
Right near.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance proposing establishment of SSA number 28 with the correction of the missing E on page number 46. In Keys Avenue, as I was just educated. By Old
I'm still going to
Hampshire.
call it Kai's because my attorney brother spelled it the same way he called it Kai's.
Well, you're not the only one. We've all been calling it Kaiser, and we just got corrected. So,
Still pilgrim.
okay, so
Yeah, I'm going to. Mr. Mayor, can we add one more question to that?
Sure.
So if you look on page 42 of the 89 page packet, page 3 of our ordinance, if you could also add in Kane and McHenry counties.
Yeah. So with the missing E and with McHenry County, that is a hard habit.
In that area.
Sorry, 45 of the, I think that's 170 Yall Road.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We reassign the address to the pin on, that's listed on page 45 of 89. And the address is 170 Well Road, so that'll be correct.
That's just been changed in the last few weeks.
Do we need to add that to the motion as well?
Please.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion establishing or proposing the establishment of SSA number 28 for the missing E on page 46 with the changes to the address in page 45 and adding McHenry County alongside Kane where necessary.
Thank you.
So moved.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Awesome. Thank you.
I will try this one more time. I'll ask your consideration of an ordinance proposing the establishment of special service area number 31 for the pet ag development. I think you're all familiar with the Hampshire Woods Business Park up north. This is pet ag building that was completed about 3 years ago, and we're just catching up on creating the SSA. And again, it's a backup SSA.
Mr. Hedges, on that one, I know where it's physically located, but I know there are other developments and other businesses happening close to next door. Are all of the businesses a part of this SSA in that geographic area? Is it just, are we calling it pet egg because that's the only business responsible for the maintenance of this?
Yes, they have their own detention pond, so they'll be responsible for the maintenance themselves. And the next project that's being built right now, which is Old Dominion, they have their own pond as well. So they'll have their own SSA. It's only when they share the same
That was going to be my follow-up, is if that new development was
Right,
feeding into this.
So there's another 60 acres to the north with northern builder zones. If they do 3 properties there, they could combine those into one SSA and just have one detention area. But right now they're developing them one.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
On page 51, we do need to add the McHenry in there too. And now they're located in.
It's only been since 1876 that we've been in one county.
Yeah.
We've only been in 2 counties since September, so I,
May not have mentioned that to Mark yet.
Since we're trying to be all
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. I'll talk to them.
so that's the only comment on this, I think. So I will entertain a motion proposing the establishment of SSA number 31 with the change of adding McHenry County where necessary.
So moved.
Questions, comments, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we would ask for a motion to accept the 2023 municipal compliance report for the police pension fund and allow staff to utilize the levy requirement proposed in the municipal compliance report to be used in preparing the 2025 budget. And Ms. Lyons will give you a brief summary.
So the police pension fund is required to provide this report to the village to demonstrate the health of the pension fund and also to provide information regarding a tax levy. Unfortunately, the village is on a tax for this purpose, so therefore we utilize the municipal compliance report to use for budgeting purposes. Any questions?
Yeah, on the analysis, computation wasn't completed at the time this report was prepared.
That was the Illinois Department of Insurance's computation. They do a separate computation.
Okay, is that gonna alter anything or affect it in any way? Okay.
Yes.
Just one question for you. In the summary memorandum, it talks about the recommended municipal contribution levy of $684,824.
Correct.
And then it talks about for this year, the alternate contribution is $560,779. Is that just for reference, or is it those two combined, or what's the $560,779?
So last year, the municipal compliance report, the levy request or, the police pensions request from the village was 556,000 and change. And the village went with the alternate contribution, kind of split the difference a little bit, and actually the contribution was $530,000. So, they always ask for the amount that is most beneficial to increase their funding. And the village must statutorily at least do the alternate contribution or more.
Okay, so, but we did, to what you were just saying,
Mhm.
in here, it says that we actually did, or budgeted 656,625, right?
No, we did not. That was their request last year,
Okay,
and we budgeted 530,000, which was a factor of the alternate contribution.
okay, so then which of these two numbers are you asking recommendation to use in the budget? The 684 or the 560?
I would guess that when you receive your draft of the budget, it will be closer to the 560.
Oh, understood. Okay, so this isn't saying one
You
of
must
those
do it.
two. It's just saying use this method in the budget.
Right, there are two different methods in calculating, the police pension, obviously, always, as I said, picks the higher amount because that makes their fund, healthier and doesn't, get you funded quicker, right? Our goal ultimately is to be funded at 100%. The alternate contribution is, spreads out the contribution under a longer term. And so therefore, we have picked the last 2 years only. We've always previously funded at the actual ask of the pension fund. But the last 2, maybe 3 years, I'll have to look at that. We've chosen the alternate contribution. Yes.
Ms. Lyons, if I can ask too, this year's number reflects the fund was 49.05 funded, and that's down from the 52.21 that it was last year.
Uh-huh.
Is that the officers that pulled out of the pension program? Because, I mean, the investments were doing very well, so that would have brought it up, but then we did have some.
So, yeah, investments did better than the year before, because we had contributed to the downstate, pooled fund.
Okay.
So every year is a different measurement. It's never measured with the same census of police officers. So it's a function of the age of our police officers, the, mortality tables, there's all sorts of different functions. And then also, yes, those that have withdrawn, certainly their funds come out and, we don't automatically replace those. So, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do we have any say in what the fund is invested in?
At this point, you do not.
Because in the actuarial report, our auditor assumed a 5% return on interest, or a 5% interest return on the investment.
Yes.
And our actual is just higher than just it sitting in cash at 1.824%.
So again, the pension fund contributed to the pooled fund in February of 2023. And this is a measurement as of April 2023. So, and trust me, this past year, the funds were all over the place. We had good months. We had a period of time where we were actually, the fund contributed $2.6 million. And there were points in time where the fund actually was, that contribution had a unrealized loss. But they make actuarial assumptions, right? 5% is a reasonable amount at this point. And I think we'll find that we're going to meet that goal.
So the 1.824 is just representative of 1 month.
No,
Or 2 months, the February to April that you're talking.
no, that was representative of April or May 1 through April 30th. So, but the contribution to the big fund wasn't made until February. So you had February, March, and April. Only 3 months at the higher rate and the rest of the months at the lower rate in cash. And the fund was held in cash previously.
Thank you, Ms. Lyons. Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to accept the municipal compliance report for the police pension and allow staff to utilize the levy requirement proposed in the municipal compliance report in preparing the fiscal year 25 budget.
Second.
Questions or comments? Because this has to do with money, do I need to do roll call? Fantastic. Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Coe.
Aye.
Mr. Matt.
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini.
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. With that, we would ask for a motion to renew the medical, dental, and vision insurance plans for fiscal year 2025. You have in your packet a rather exhaustive review of the rates and various policies. And Ms. Lyons can answer any questions that you might have.
I'm gonna throw this out there, it's probably a no. But I'm looking at this, we have 32 people that are covered. And I know the way insurance works, the more people you get in your coverage plan, the cheaper the rates get.
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Okay, never mind then.
Every individual is age rated now since the what do we call it? Sorry, I almost called by its nickname, the Affordable Care Act.
Okay.
Every individual is now rated by age. So it seems rather discriminatory to me, but
Well, yeah.
obviously the cost of my health insurance is a lot higher than anybody else's. That's why.
I was.
It's not based on cost. It's not based on experience anymore like it used to be. You had wellness programs and you had low premium, low claims, and your premiums could be improved. That's no longer possible.
Yeah, I will say that we are in a small group.
Right.
So because of the number of employees that we have and participate, if you're less than 50 employees, you're automatically in an Affordable Care Act plan. If we hit 50 employees that are, we have actually over 50 employees if you count yourselves, but if we had 50 participating employees, then we would bump to a larger group and we'd be under different terms.
Would that decrease our rates?
So I can't really say whether or not that would happen.
Our return on investment wouldn't be very good.
No.
You'd have to hire 17 people.
There you go.
Well, my thinking is we've talked about partnering up with other municipalities for things. This is probably not even legal to do.
Actually, it was done 40 years ago with the Northwest Municipal Conference. They all combined their health insurance back then. Actually, they created
IPBC.
Yeah, thank you. So it could be done.
Okay, I didn't know if that would give like a benefit to bringing our insurance costs down.
Intriguing idea that's never been mentioned around here. I don't think before. Look into it.
Okay. I'm sure the other municipalities around us are fighting the same fight with this.
Yeah, we can look at the idea of the West initiative.
They're big into they're starting a big shared services initiative this year, so that'd be a perfect thing to talk about. Any other questions from Ms. Lyons or Mr. Hedges? I'll entertain a motion to renew medical, dental, and vision insurance plans for fiscal year 25.
So
Second.
Questions, comments, concerns? Mr. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Mr. Met?
Aye.
Mrs. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. With that, we would ask for consideration of a motion approving the 2024 building permit fee schedule. We have also a rather exhaustive fee schedule in your packet, as well as an agenda supplement from Mr. Pond. And he's here to answer any questions you might have.
We just go through fees not long ago, Mr. Hedges. I thought we just adjusted building fees not long ago.
We changed some fees every year. Or I don't think we did building fees.
Can't remember.
I think when
Oh,
State Bill came on first about 3 years ago. I think that's probably the last time.
we actually have done more recent update than that.
But not an exhaustive one.
Right.
Mo's gone through this one compared to other communities. If you'd like to summarize what.
So, I would say 90% of the building permit fee schedule is the same. It was just laid out differently. So, there was questions state on how to apply the permit fees. And there was confusion on their part versus our part. And so we went through and listed all the permit fees that are applicable for different types of permits. What really the changes are to the temporary certificate occupancy fee, the transition fee, which is adjusted every year based on the CPI. And then the permit extension fee. Currently, we don't, if a permit expires, we don't have an extension fee for that. So we didn't see it fair to charge someone $1,000 for a permit all over again if it's already been reviewed and part of it has been expected already. So there's an extension fee that's only 50% of the original building. So it allows the work to continue on under the first permit.
Is there a timeline for that, or is it just by the date? So like if you, I mean, my question is does the building department staff have discretion, you know,
It's 6 months, right? Or is it
It's
a year?
3 months.
3 months? That 3 months doesn't account for some of it, like if you start respectfully, like you start something in the fall, weather gets away from you, and you can't get to it again till it's spring, you could be over 3 months. Pretty
So
quick.
the original permit is good for 12 months.
Okay.
And so the 3 months is after that 12 months. So if you start in the fall, you have until the fall of next year to finish all that. So you have a spring and summer season.
Just want to make sure that we're not going to be catching people trying to put up a deck and then it rains, we get a really rainy fall and then it gets cold and then.
I think a year's probably.
If the permit's good for 1 calendar year,
Yeah, you're good.
what's the logic of not charging them something after 1 year to renew it if they will finish their project?
Oftentimes when permits expire, it's already been reviewed. So there's no cost again to review a permit that's already been approved. And also often in my experience that oftentimes part of the inspection requirements have been already completed. So to charge them a full 100% of the permit fee isn't fair because they've already completed part of the.
Well, I agree with that, but it should be something.
Charging 50%, will be half as much.
That's listed on here, have.
Yeah, that's number 3.
Right.
I believe I asked this before, but just because we're talking about it again. Transition fees. These are for any new development coming in, correct? Because current development agreements would supersede any of the fee increases that we have.
Yeah, so these would be for any new developments, that there is a development agreement where the board says, we'll give you a break or actually increases the fees, then that would supersede the phone for the start.
And I don't understand why, with the certificate of occupancy, why the temporary certificate is double. Because I would assume with the certificate of occupancy, that's, everything's done and $75, but the temporary one is $150.
So there's staff time account that needs to be done for that, so we're doing public work inspections twice instead of just once.
Okay,
There's also administrative time on my part and Ms. Lyons' part, to track this, so that
okay,
it's more of there's a lot more staff time when we're trying to issue a temporary certificate of occupancy and then keeping track of that. Because there's conditions of approval with TCOs or temporary certificate of occupancy, so there's more staff time involved that we need to cover. Whereas with a certificate of occupancy, it's you finish your building inspections and you're done.
Let me just interject if I could. This is really an accommodation for the builders. They don't have everything that's required to have full occupancy. It might be that they don't have a carport pre-planted yet, or they don't have the sidewalk complete, or they have to have the sidewalk.
Or blacktop in the middle of winter.
Right. Maybe the front yard isn't sided yet. So those, we have to go out and inspect that. And then we have to go back again when they apply for the final occupancy. So it is extra work, and it's a disincentive really for them to get a TCO.
Okay.
We prefer that they just come in for final occupancy.
is double the correct amount? I mean, I know you've thought about it, et cetera, so,
It seems to us to be appropriate, and nobody's complaining.
okay. And that was what other municipalities were doing about that amount too?
Other municipalities, in my experience, are a lot more. So, towns I've come from, like non-residential, are in the thousands, and then residential is a few hundred in my experience.
Okay.
Because again, like Mr. Hunter says, it's a disincentive for you to just be part of the work instead of continuing all the work at one time.
Okay, so is that gonna push them to put that tree in the parkway or put in that asphalt driveway when they shouldn't, so they don't have to pay the temporary
They
one?
can't put them until it's away from it.
Okay,
If they put them when they shouldn't, the tree will die, and then they have to replace it.
okay,
And the pavement, they can't even get it.
take your word for that, I just didn't understand.
It's something obviously we deal with it a lot these days.
Any other questions about the building fees?
Yeah, is there under the, I think it was page 5 of this part, the impact and connection fee schedule for the impact fees? Have those changed or adjusted?
The impact fees have not been adjusted. For that, we need to do a code amendment and adjust the value of 1 acre of improved land. Right now, I believe it's around 60,000. We want to update the impact fees. We have to get an appraisal for what an acre of improved land would be worth in Hampshire right now, and then that would.
When was the last time that was done?
Fairly recent, fairly recent.
2 years ago?
4 years ago, I think.
Okay.
Now, granted, values have changed. Is it staff's opinion? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but is it staff's opinion that it's changed that much that it might be worth doing?
The code requires that we update it, I believe, every 3 years. So it's due.
And then that would automatically change these impact fees once that's recalculated, correct? Up or down, however the value of that land.
It would have to come back to the board because those impact fees are actually in the code.
Right.
So it would come back to the board and the board would decide whether to increase them, keep them the same way.
Oh, they're not based on a percentage of what the value is?
Well, it is, but it's put in the code, whereas like the transition fees, it just references them, so we can update it via fee schedule, whereas the impact fee are actually in the municipal code adopted via an ordinance. So we come back with the appraisal, give you the calculations, what the impact fee for the school district is park district,
Okay.
and then the board would have to go along.
It's just a question, what is a school transition? You have $3,763. What is that?
That is for the school district,
The purpose
but
of
what
that,
it is,
the purpose of that is really to get them the 18 months until they start collecting the property taxes. That's the purpose of the transition, because then they're statewide.
Okay, and the other one was, I want to say there was transition. Lost it. Transportation impact.
King County has some of the highest transportation impact fees in the area.
So that's actually our fee. We do charge that, but that has not changed in my tenure.
King County charges even more.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And what actually is that?
So that is used to fix our local streets, and to build like new collector roads and those types of things. So, yeah, we'll use some of those transportation funds in the next year. So we'll discuss that in the budget.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My last question, page 4, the fire sprinkler suppression and alarm. I thought we had deferred some of those fee inspections and then to the fire department to do.
Well, the fire department conducts a lot of inspections for us, but all those inspections are done under the authority of the village.
Okay, so they would just go in there and they would review them and then they get an extra fee for doing it.
So the way those inspection fees work, if the fire department either reviews a fire sprinkler or alarm permit and or does the inspections, we still bill the permit just as we do. And rather than split the fee like we do with Safe Built, we split it with the fire department. So they're paid for their service.
Okay. I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, in fact, at last time's meeting, we distributed some invoice money to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's something that Safe Built was doing for us, and they could continue to do it, but the fire department could also do it as a revenue generator.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion approving the 2024 building permit fee schedule. Gosh, can't say that very fast.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh.
Second.
Questions, comments, concerns? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Matt,
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini,
Aye.
Mr. Robinson,
All right.
Ms. Fodor. Aye. Mr. Kelly
Aye.
and Mr. Gold.
All right.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, before you have the building report, engineering report, and financial report. Please take some time to review them. And we'll call for some questions if there are any.
How much more work is there for studying phase 1 of safe routes to school? Since it's been in work for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. We're near the end. the first part. We need to review things with Dave Sterrett and go through the plan. And then there's a public meeting that'll have to be held that we'll have to coordinate here in the next month or so. And then that goes off for final approval to IDOT, and then it would move on to design.
Mr. Paulson, how many hours on average is EEI spending on this phase 1 study?
On
The trustees' Coates point, it does seem like it's been on here for a very long time.
yes, it has been on here for a long time. I don't know I don't know how to answer the question on average. It's been a kind of a start and stop kind of process. There's been submittals to IDOT. There's been, weather, kind of a pause with weather. So, we're moving to finish it up in the next month or so.
How many linear feet of sidewalk are we getting through the grant? Anybody know?
Not linear feet, I don't know, but I know the streets and I can have the map sent out. I mean, it was going down high and trying to connect.
Tim, do you have that information?
I don't have it in front of me, no, but I can certainly get it out. We do have a map of it.
This was almost a year ago that we submitted the grant, so the IDOT process is very slow, but I can get you the map on these sidewalks and it'll be.
Is it an IDOT grant?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's not like these are local roads. Where are we?
No, it's all IDOT. We were successful in getting the grant, like almost 18 months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we skipped a year because it takes so long to complete the application and all. And now we'll be applying again probably next year. These sidewalks are all on the east side of State Street.
Right there. This is the Panama
Right.
one.
Correct.
Remember,
We were already awarded that grant, though, right?
it's been awarded,
But not
after it's
funded.
awarded, it takes a very long time to go through the IDOT process. It's not EEI that's delaying anything, it's the IDOT process. It's a really good program, it's just very cumbersome.
Generally, how are we doing with the buildings? I mean, I see that we didn't have any in January and February for the duplexes and the townhomes. Are things slowing down? I mean, because on the graph on page 79, bring everybody where I'm at, we had some really high numbers that came in. And now for this year, we're lower, even with the green.
Just for the first couple of months, this is just a matter of timing. I think last year, January and February were pretty slow too,
Okay.
if I remember the chart. But no, it's not slowing down.
If I can build on Mr. Hedges, we did receive quite a few permits in like mid to end of February that we expect to be issued in March.
Okay.
There was also a delay in because there was a new energy code that went into effect. And there was a question between the builders, Safebuilt, and us about how the energy code is going to affect the approved set of construction drawings. So there was a delay on that part. But we, like I said, in the mid end of February, we had quite a few permits coming in single family homes.
Okay, because it says 2.
That's what was issued in February.
Okay, so there's.
It's not the number of applications, it's the number of issued.
They have to be paid in order to come up on this list.
Okay, that's a key, because I'm looking at going, wow, 0, and then just 2, with the monthly average being. All right, thank you.
I found the map for safe routes to school. I did not find the amount I found the grant application, but I don't even think that I've seen the amount of feet, but it goes from on Panama, from Centennial down to Edgewood Court. It goes on Elm, from Panama, just past High to Jake Lane. And it goes down High all the way, and then it goes from Edgewood Court on State Street all the way down to Dutchess. So it's a significant amount of feet, but I don't have the actual numbers.
Tim, do you have that number?
I don't know the number off the top of my head. No, I can certainly look it up. Don't have that memorized.
You want the linear feet covered?
That's all I want.
Okay, we'll get it.
Tim, did you have that on your bingo card for tonight?
I did not.
Fair enough. All right, do we have any other questions about engineering, building, or financial reports this evening? All right, thank you very much. Next before you, we do not have an accounts payable to personnel tonight, but we do have the regular accounts
We
payable.
do have.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, I got the wrong page.
Yeah,
No, no.
I don't think there was anything in personnel.
Oh, I have the wrong page.
I was gonna say, come on, I got this one right this time.
Wait to be questioned.
I specific,
Correct.
yeah, don't say that too loud, nobody will believe you. Okay, so the amount of $293,569.76. Please review that at this time.
Yeah, thank you.
On page 2, repair oil, $10,000.
Hang on.
$10,672.36. I want to know what kind of repair oil that is.
So that was a repair to one of the Ford F-550 street department trucks. Do you remember that?
Seems like a new engine.
It was a very costly, repair.
I can see
Is
that.
this a pickup?
It's a large pickup.
So do you know the truck that we ride around in,
Yeah.
for the parade? That's one of our Ford F-550 pickups with a service body on the back of it. It's much larger than a pickup, if you would say. But it's got a 6.7 liter diesel engine in it. And so I don't know what was done with it. But having owned one of them, they are very expensive to fix.
Is it most diesels, correct?
Yeah,
So it
as are
wasn't
most
just-
diesels in general.
It wasn't just a oil.
I would imagine not.
Okay.
Not
It was
that
an
price.
oil leak. It was an internal oil leak. I can't remember what, it wasn't head gasket, because I always hear, you hear that, but it was an internal oil leak.
Right.
In other words, they were finding that the oil was decreasing, when you check the dipstick, but there were no puddles. So it was some kind of internal serious problem.
So that being said, just so you know, the repair on something like that, the cap has to come off the truck. Speaking from experience.
On page 14, Vertra, is that the trainer?
Yes.
I thought we paid that off. Is this additional payments? Because it's 115,000.
This is the second half of the payments.
Oh, okay, so for the initial purchase of it.
Right, we paid 50% down, and this was the second payment. Yep.
Okay. This is still coming out of the grant that we.
Yes. Yep.
Any other questions?
That question then about the fire protection thing then, does that go with page 6? The 21,701 is what we paid the fire protection district then? That also seems to be their system inspection.
So the 18,000, right, the $18,000 amount is a reissue of the check from the last time, which included building inspection fees and some transition fees. It says reissue on there. The check lost the account number in the mailing system. So by the time it went from here to the fire department, they had to have a reissue of the check. So, yeah.
Sherry came over here,
Yeah, sure.
cat in hand saying, I need a new check.
Save this thing.
Any other questions about the regular accounts payable? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the regular accounts payable in the amount of $292,569.76.
So moved.
Second. Questions, comments, concerns?
Okay, page 14, third trial for $115,955.
He just asked that question.
That was the trainer.
Oh, that was, okay, I was
That was
looking
the
at something
fire
else.
master.
Okay, sorry.
Any other questions? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Mr. Met?
Aye.
Mrs. Palastrellini?
Hi.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Now, for everybody's favorite time, it's the Business Development Commission report.
BDC was scheduled to meet next week. That has been canceled due to scheduling conflicts with the facility. So we will be meeting, the BDC will be meeting in April. So there will be no March. Any questions? Super.
Trustee Coe, what do you have for Public Works today?
I don't have anything. I'll refer to Mr. Hedges. I don't know if they've had meetings or what concerning
I can just tell you that planning for the new public works garage continues. We have a meeting coming up on the 30th of this month for another progress report. We do have a concept plan for the layout of the property up there that I'll be sharing with the board. So yes, we're making progress on it.
Now for the timely discussion about the budget.
Budget committee met in February on the 21st. Thank you to everyone who was able to attend, where we discussed the capital improvement plan, costs, expenditures, and revenue. The next budget committee meeting is scheduled for March 20th at 6:30 here at Village Hall. Just a reminder to the board, while it is a budget committee meeting, that it will be a working meeting of the board, so everybody is invited to attend. But it'll be the budget committee that makes the official recommendation to the board from that point. There will be an updated calendar and schedule for the budget committee of when it'll come in front of the board, coming within the next couple of days. And I will make sure that the board has that, so you know what the dates look like, because we have certain reporting and filing that has to happen by certain times. So that'll be coming out. In that meeting, just to reiterate, everyone will be getting the budget a week ahead of time at least. You are asked to review the budget beforehand. We will not spend that meeting going line by line in the budget. So I just want to make sure we're really clear on that it is your opportunity to have an open discussion and ask any questions, get clarification, make recommendations, have a great discussion with Finance Director Lyons, Mr. Hedges, and staff about the budget. Ms. Lyons, as of right now on the agenda, Ms. Lyons will have the opportunity to give an overview and call out any specifics that she wants to make sure that we're really paying attention to. But as we have done in the past, where we go line by line, that will not be the case in this meeting. So please, when you get it, review the budget. Any questions for me?
When we get it, do we have to review the budget?
You wonder why I say it? I'll remind you of that on the 20th.
Any new business?
we go line by line?
Line by line, and everybody wonders why it's 11:30 PM and we're still talking about the budget.
Any new business tonight? Or other announcements?
One announcement, a blood drive in town on March 11th, this Monday, from 1 to 5:30, being hosted by our Senator Dave Severson and our state representative Jeff Kiker. I missed that. I didn't know it was even going on, so I found out about it today.
We put it out there a few weeks back. We put it out there a couple of times on our social because their office asked us to put it out.
Okay.
They missed the deadline. They didn't schedule it in enough time for us to include it in our newsletter, but we tried to help them some, and I'm signed up, so if you're signed up, I'll see you there.
They were off.
The
It's at
11th.
their office, yes,
Right
over
now.
there.
Yep.
On Oak Knoll.
And they need, not the senator or representative, but Versity needs blood. So they need blood because there's a shortage, so if you can, and you're able to, you could save a life, so. No executive session tonight. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just add, I see some of you have this in your hand. I asked Clerk to distribute this for you. She noticed that it was way outdated in the front, and then Mo was nice enough to update everything on this. So anything on it, if you think it's incorrect, let us know. But this has been updated for the first time in about 5 years. Just want to make sure you all have it. This is our new resident. Welcome.
Mr. Hedges, I was reading through this. There's a lot of great information. Can we, in the next utility bill, include this in the utility bill?
We can.
So that every resident has it, because I don't know that every resident knows that it's up here, and that's kind of what we said is the easiest way to get it to everybody.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
There's a lot of really
Put
great
2 pages
information.
in it. Could be kind of expensive, but we'll take a look at that.
Okay.
Can we add Eric Robinson as a trustee?
No,
That's why we asked you to look at it.
no, no, he,
Is there something you're announcing or?
No, it's announced right there for you. All you guys, not me. No, yeah, that would be great.
you got a good cat.
I'm representing
My name is
Kettering
spelled
County.
right.
But I appreciate everybody being here and thanks and motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.